Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition, a rainy day firelay rendition, if you will, of Choir Boys Cutlery. Hey, before we get into the video, 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. Vets, love you. You have a place here. We back to blue over here with Sport Leo. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, over the past couple months, y'all have heard me mention a gentleman by the name of Blackie Thomas several times. I am a massive fan of his channel. Now, I tagged him in the title of this video for a couple of reasons. One is I want to give credit where credit is due. The other we'll talk about in just a second. Now, right there, I made a mistake. What we're doing is basically building an L-shaped firelay. Now, guys, it's misting. You can't really see it in this video, but it's misting. There's my fat wood, lighter knot, fat lighter, whatever you want to call it. I actually found this piece in the woods right before I did this video. I had brought a couple smaller pieces with me, but I found a pine stump, harvested this, and that's something we're going to talk about in the weeks ahead, is how to find it, how to harvest it, but that's down the road. I use my work tough gear, Nomad EDC, feather sticked it up. Now, you build an L-shaped firelay, just like we've built here, however size you want. Now, the idea, I got this idea from Blackie. The deal is, it rained today. All of this stuff is damp. This is all wood that you've seen out by the stump that we've demoed knives on, etc. So this is kind of a controlled test. I brought all of this stuff from my house. Most of it's that petrified firewood I got from Home Depot back in October. So I brought it all. I also brought some of the busted up 2x4s, busted up pallets, things like that. I processed everything up, but everything's been outside. The day that we did this was Friday. It rained, so all of this stuff is damp. It's not soaking wet, no, but it's damp. Now, the key is we're going to build a platform. We're going to put our tinder on top. This is a fire, and this is a trick so that when you're in the woods or you're in the swamps like we are here in Florida, this is a trick where you're never out of the fight when it comes to a fire. This is a way to build a fire even when everything is damp, your tinder's damp, everything's damp. You find some fat wood, lighter knot, Florida gold, whatever you want to call it. As long as you got a piece of that, you're good to go. You're in the fight. The idea is we set that piece of fat wood up vertically. We're going to light it up. I'm going to use another piece of fat wood to light it up. And then basically what we're going to do, we put our little bit of tinder on top. It is now the leaves and all that stuff up top, that's wet. That's not damp. That is wet. So we were really going to put this idea to the test. I had to find 2 oak limbs, kind of large, that had some nubs on them so I could build up the platform. You see me try to do it a while ago and they kept sliding down. That was a mistake I made. So we found some oak limbs. And I found a couple of oak sticks. You've seen them snap right there. They were just quick, crisp snaps. Now, the idea is to light the fat wood, let it get going, let the heat and the flame dry out the tinder, dry out some of that wood. It's damp because that fat wood's going to burn. A piece that size, that fat wood right there is going to burn 10, 15, 20 minutes easy. And it's not just a matter of flame. With it being open like that to the front, that air can come in. Now I've got this open to the northwest. The wind blows in to where I'm at right there from the northwest. So we've got a decent little breeze going. I meant to light that lighter knot or that lighter on fire on camera. My bad. What else can you expect from old Scab? But I used my big lighter, my emergency lighter, lit it up, and then we're just going to watch. Now what happens is this, as that air comes through the front, it's going to put oxygen on that flame. They go together like white on rice, son. And once this thing takes off, basically what you have is a built-in blowtorch. So yes, the flame's going up, but it's also the heat off those combustible gases from that lighter knot. Basically, and you guys know this, these videos, guys, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I say this all the time. I am a novice at best when it comes to knives. When it comes to woodscraft, whatever's below a novice, I'm below that. So a lot of this stuff I'm telling you, you know. But basically, lighter knot, fat wood, is in the south is a piece of pine, or yeah, I think a piece of pine, and there's another tree that has died, and the sap has settled into an area and basically become turpentine, basically become fuel. And you'll see right here, this stuff light up, and once it gets going, man, look at it. Now, earlier I thought about speeding this part up, but then I'm like, no, I want to show the progression of the flame. And right now, all you're seeing is that lighter not catching up, but you're also seeing, see how that flame's just moving right there? That air coming through is like a blowtorch, and you can tell how wet the leaves are by how long it takes to pick up. Now, what's happening is, as that heat's rising, it's going up and it's kind of drying out. The flame, it's doing its part, but it's basically that heat and that air coming up through. And I'm going to tell y'all something. When it catches, it catches. Now, I know all over, there's fatwood all over the country. I know that. There's lighter knot in a lot of places. But if you're in an area where you don't have any, let me know what you use. I know right here, just like I said, I was out in the woods kind of messing around, and I found that pine stump. And the pieces of lighter knot I had were decent size, but the piece I had right there is probably 1.5 inches in diameter. It's large, probably 8 inches long. Just a big, big piece of lighter knot. And you can tell, I mean, you can see that fire just blowing. And again, you can tell how wet that tinder is because it takes it a minute to catch up. But here's the deal. When it does, son, watch out. Now, I got this tip from Blackie Thomas. And I told you I was going to talk about that in a minute. I tagged him for a couple of reasons. One is, I want to give credit where credit is due. Blackie learned it from some old woodsmen. He's wanting to pass on his knowledge now. I'm wanting to learn it. Once I learn it, I'll pass it on. And again, guys, my videos when it comes to this stuff is more to show you, hey, this is my progression. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm trying. It's in no way to tell you what to do. A lot of you guys are very, very knowledgeable. I just want to share this with you. And the deal is this. If you have any tips, any tricks, any critiques, put them in the comments. That's the other reason I tag Blackie. If there's anything I'm doing wrong, Mr. Thomas, let me know. The other reason is this, guys. The guy's got a phenomenal channel, and you need to check him out. He just makes absolute sense to me. I can watch a lot of videos. I can watch people do a lot of things. But Mr. Thomas makes sense to me. It comes together for me. And this right here for me, guys, this is a pretty good accomplishment. You're saying, oh, Scabe, you started a fire. Right. But this is a fire that I can manage, I can maintain. Just like we did the Dakota fire pit, with this fire lay right here, and again, I wish I had a little bit better camera so you could see it misted the whole time, and it had rained earlier. So we've got some damp wood. And again, this is what I brought from the house. This is a controlled environment. The next fire that I do, next fire lay I do, I'm going to just try to find everything in the surrounding area. And believe me, guys, there's a ton of lighter knot out there, so I'm going to be fine. But I really wanted to control everything. I want to practice. If you leave a tip, I'm going to try it out. Not because I doubt you, but because I want to see it for myself. I want to learn it, and then I want to be able to pass it on. Now, there's two other channels. There's D. Thomas. I like his stuff. He does a lot of outdoor stuff. And there's DC Outdoors. I'm going to put links to those two channels as well as two videos from Blackie Thomas. They're titled Fire Tips That Nobody Knows. And they're basically, one is this one. And you'll see the difference in a master woodsman doing it and old scab doing it. But check those videos out. Check out DC Outdoors. Check out D. Thomas and support these guys. I would greatly appreciate it. Right here in a minute, we're going to kind of go and we'll show the fire. But what I was saying earlier about the control, this is actually a fire. I just kind of let it burn down from here. But I could have continually fed. And this thing made, one, fatwood puts off a tremendous amount of heat. Okay, and you want to let all that kind of turpentine and all that burn out before you ever tried to cook over it. This isn't a cooking fire to start with, but this is the beginnings of a fire. And you can see right there, it just burns. Basically, I had it burned down to nothing, to be honest with you. And then we made sure we got plenty of water on it. Take that as you will. And we buried it. And there it is, guys. A rainy day fire lay. you're never out of the fight with these tricks. Now listen, my guy Mikey says it best. Everything's going to be all right. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son.